Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to cut through the headlines, really get into the heart of an experience that, well, it's hard for most of us to even imagine.
Yeah, picture this.
Yeah.
Your whole world just shatters instantly. And you're forced, you and your child, to flee everything you know. It's a desperate 2,645-mile dash for survival.
So our deep dive today is unpacking this really powerful narrative. We're drawing from a compelling novel, but also the author's own insights and, related research too.
We'll be following a mother, Lydia, and her 8-year-old son, Luca, as they navigate Mexico.
Yeah.
And yes, their path is just fraught with danger, absolutely, but it's also illuminated by moments of incredible resilience.
And unexpected connections, right?
Well, exactly.
So our mission for you, listening in, is to pull out the most vital insights here. We want to help you grasp not just what happens, the events, but the huge human stakes involved.
Mm-hmm. And the moral complexities, the surprising truths that come out when ordinary people are thrown into these kinds of extraordinary, terrible circumstances.
Okay, let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So the story kicks off in Acapulco, Mexico. It's a family quinceañera, a celebration, but it just spirals into this unthinkable nightmare.
Yeah, Luca and Lydia, the son and mother, they end up hiding in a bathroom, trapped. And they're just hearing these muffled sounds of a massacre outside.
The rattle of bullets, a door squeaking.
And then this truly chilling detail. One of the cartel guys, he flushes the toilet and just almost casually starts eating some chicken.
And he says something like, no excuse for letting good barbecue go to waste.
And not when there are children starving in Africa. It's horrific. And in that exact moment, Lydia's first instinct, it's almost primal, is to wipe away this tiny spot of Luca's blood from the floor tile.
Wow, that contrast, the mundane and the monstrous right there.
It really shows how terror can just seep into everyday life, makes the horrific seem almost routine. It's deeply disturbing.
And the aftermath is just devastating. 16 family members murdered.
Including Lydia's husband, Sebastian, who was a journalist. His body is found with this cardboard sign. It reads, "Toda mi familia está muerta por mi culpa. My whole family is dead because of me."
But there's this strange detail, Lydia notes, a kind of deformed kindness in how he died.
Yeah, it's grim, but she contrasts it with other cartel killings she'd heard about, like a boy hung by a shoelace because his father wouldn't pay mordidas, bribes, protection money.
That distinction, even in death, it's haunting. And it makes it instantly clear why they can't stay. She has this awful realization.
That law enforcement is completely compromised, utterly. Several officers are actually on the cartel payroll.
And one of them has already texted El Jefe, the boss, that she and Luca survived.
Right, and that's when it hits her. They're going to kill me too.
So this isn't just a few corrupt cops.
No. It shows how the entire system, the state itself, can be rotten. The very people meant to protect you become the biggest threat.
So her escape, it's almost automatic, an instinct.
Exactly. She grabs Abuela's, her grandmother's little red overnight bag, finds 15,000 pesos hidden under a mattress.
And Abuela's gold lame gardening sneakers.
Yeah, those quilted gold sneakers. And Luca, meanwhile, he's just clutching his dad's Yankees hat, which is way too big for him, just trying to find comfort in the smell.
And Lydia's coping mechanism, that mantra.
Don't think. Just this desperate, silent repetition to keep going.
That sheer psychological weight, it's immense, but there's this hidden layer to the horror, isn't there? A personal betrayal?
Yes. Javier Crespo Fuentes, the cartel leader. He was actually Lydia's friend, a regular at her bookstore.
They shared a love for literature, even bad poetry, the book says.
Right, which created this, false sense of closeness, deceptive intimacy.
And Sebastian, her husband, the journalist, he played a role in this, unwittingly.
Well, he believed deeply that a free press was the last line of defense against corruption, against people like Javier.
His article, Acapulco Falls, exposed Javier's cartel, Los Jardineros.
Mm-hmm. And Lydia was constantly worried his integrity, his need to report the truth, would put them all in danger.
And Sebastian's article was brutal, right? It didn't hold back.
No, it detailed the horrific stuff. Beheadings, dismemberment, rumors they even shot a rival's 2-year-old child. Just awful.
And Lydia, at first, she was kind of in denial.
Deep denial.
Well,
she even tried to warn Javier about the article coming out, believing somehow it might even be flattering to him.
Flattering? How could she possibly think? It shows how blind she was, or wanted to be.
It's a shocking misjudgment, yeah. But it speaks to the complexity of their prior relationship, maybe.
So what was the ultimate trigger? Why the massacre?
It comes out later. It's incredibly tragic. Javier's daughter, Marta, she was away at boarding school in Barcelona.
Okay.
She found out about her father's real activities, the cartel stuff, by reading Sebastian's article online.
Yeah.
And she committed suicide.
Oh my God. So the massacre wasn't just cartel business?
No, it was personal. It was Javier's vendetta, revenge for his daughter's death. Lorenzo, a former cartel guy they meet later, he confirms it. Says it was basically a press release for Los Jardineros.
A press release written in blood, directed right at Lydia and her family.
Exactly. A chilling, public, incredibly violent message.
So with that horrifying truth revealed, Lydia and Luca had absolutely no choice. They had to disappear. They start this journey north into just constant danger.
And early on, Lydia does something smart. She withdraws a lot of money, 219,803 pesos, which is about $12,500, mostly inheritance money.
To fund the escape. But even their first stop, a quick hotel stay back in Acapulco.
Right, even there, the danger follows. The desk clerk, possibly a halcon, a lookout, texts the cartel about them. It shows that constant surveillance. They're never really safe.
And Lydia's trying so hard to seem normal, like in the elevator, wearing abuela's gold sneakers, just tapping buttons to avoid talking to anyone. Small details, but they say so much.
And the journey itself, just getting out of Guerrero, is full of roadblocks. Manned by this confusing mix of, well, gangs, narco-traffickants, drug traffickers, even so-called auto defenses, self-defense groups.
So it could also be cartel.
Exactly. Who do you trust when the lines are that blurred? It's impossible. We even see this dilemma with some church workers, Carlos and Meredith.
Right, they debate their moral responsibility. Do they help the migrants or protect their own American missionaries? It's a terrible choice.
A stark choice, yeah, in a totally fractured society.
They eventually find some temporary safety, right, at a Casa del Migrante.
Yes, in Huetoca. Hermana Cecilia offers a bit of sanctuary. But it's brief. Padre Ray, the priest, gives them this sobering pep talk.
Not exactly uplifting, I gather.
No. He basically says the journey north is only for people who have no choice, and the odds are terrible. Only 1 out of 3 will make it to your destination alive.
1 in 3. Grim.
And then another warning sign. A young man is kicked out of the shelter. He has this tattoo, a bloody sickle. It hints at the dangers lurking even inside these supposed safe places.
Which leads them to La Bestia, the beast.
The freight train. Infamous. Dangerous. As the book says, not for people. It's incredibly risky just getting on.
And they meet those 2 teenage sisters, Soledad and Rebecca.
Yes, Soledad is 15, Rebecca 14. And they teach Lydia and Luca the technique for jumping onto the moving train. You toss your backpack, squat low, hop like a frog, grab onto something.
Terrifying. And there's a memorial cross nearby.
Yeah, for those who didn't make it.
Oh.
A constant reminder of the danger. But it's here that Luca's unusual skill becomes vital. His sense of direction.
The human GPS.
Exactly. It becomes a real asset for them. A small miracle, really.
Life on that train sounds like a nightmare. Constant fear.
Falling off, being crushed under the wheels, or just facing, ordinary human violence. Plus the constant threat that even the guides, the coyotes, or the police on the train might be working for the cartels.
No one to trust. And Luca, the trauma must be immense for him.
It is. It comes out in his dreams. But you also see him developing this incredible resilience, this confidence. He actually tells El Chacal, their coyote, I intend not to die.
Wow. From a terrified little boy, that's powerful.
It really is. But amidst all the hardship, there are these moments of kindness. Small things, but vital.
Like the doctor.
Yeah, a doctor helps Soledad after she suffers a miscarriage on the journey, gives them breakfast, sunscreen. There are women selling tamales. Some girls give them Hershey's Kisses.
And that guy, Danilo, who just walks with migrants as a hobby.
Right, just to offer help, companionship. These small acts, they're like little flickers of light in the darkness. They keep people going.
And Soledad's story itself is heartbreaking.
Terribly sad. She was abused by a man named Ivan, and she's fleeing mainly to protect her younger sister, Rebecca, from the same fate. Their only hope is a text message sent to a cousin way up in Maryland.
Just a text message, that fragile hope. But their troubles aren't over. They get caught, don't they?
Yes, by agentes federales de migración, federal immigration agents.
Oh.
But they're black trucks. They're guns. They look just like the cartel.
A gun is a gun is a gun.
Luca's reaction.
He's terrified, wets his pants. But Lydia, she thinks fast. She uses Luca's knowledge, gets him to name Guerrero's governor and capital to prove they're Mexican citizens during this really tense interrogation.
Smart move.
Very. And later, she tells him to lie, to say they're from Puebla, just to mislead anyone who might be tracking them. But getting released still costs them. Financial extortion is just another layer of abuse.
It really raises questions about who the authority figures are and who the criminals are. Sometimes it seems impossible to tell.
Exactly. And then things get even darker. Lorenzo shows up again.
The guy with the bloody sickle tattoo from the shelter?
That's him. He claims he's left Los Jardineros, the cartel, but then he sexually assaults Rebecca.
Oh, no.
And Soledad, she shoots him. It's this incredibly visceral moment, self-defense, a buckle in time, the book calls it.
And Lydia's reaction to this violence, that's what's really chilling. She realizes that death, even sudden violent death, may no longer have the capacity to shock her.
She's becoming numb to it. The trauma has changed her that much.
Yeah. And then comes the final awful confirmation. Lydia finds Lorenzo's phone. Texts from the he, which she now understands means Javier, and there's a photo. A secret photo of her and Luca taken on La Bestia.
So Lorenzo was working for Javier all along, an informant.
Yes. It proves Javier is actively hunting them, personally. It explains his relentless, boundless hatred. It's not just business, it's deeply personal.
The journey continues, though. Through the desert, more tragedy strikes.
Relentless tragedy. A flash flood hits while they're in a canyon. A boy named Ricardine breaks his leg. His godfather, Chancho, makes the ultimate sacrifice. He stays behind with him, knowing they face the incredibly dangerous Ruby Road.
And then young Beto
dies from an asthma attack. Just heartbreaking. El Chacal, the coyote, grimly promises he'll come back for the body later. Each loss just piles on the trauma, chips away at them.
But somehow they keep going towards the U.S. border.
The final crossing is terrifying. They're crammed into tiny compartments in an RV, and Soledad is this really symbolic moment at the border fence.
What does she do?
She reaches her hand through the fence, wiggles her fingers in the dirt on the U.S. side, American dirt, and then she spits. Like leaving a piece of herself, her struggle, behind. It's defiance, maybe. Claiming something.
Oh, the powerful image. But getting across comes at a huge cost financially, too.
Oh, yeah. The coyote demands a fortune, $5,000 for Lydia, $6,000 for each child in U.S. dollars.
How does she even manage that?
There's this incredibly moving scene with the bank manager, Paola. Lydia basically breaks down, confesses everything, and Paola, risking her own job, reveals her own tragedy. Her nephew was found headless. She understands.
Correct.
She helps Lydia access the inheritance money from Abuela and even gives her an extra 500 pesos out of her own pocket. An act of quiet, profound courage.
That's amazing. And once they're sort of settled, they meet others.
In Nogales, yeah. They meet deportees. People like Marisol, who is a skilled dialysis technician in the U.S., and Nicholas, who is close to finishing a Ph.D. Their stories just expose how arbitrary and often unfair immigration enforcement can be.
But amidst all this, Luca finds moments of joy.
He does. He learns to play the harmonica. And he starts showing that typical kid thing, parental embarrassment, when Lydia fusses over him.
Little signs of normalcy returning.
Exactly. Little flickers of the child he was coming back. It shows his resilience.
Now let's talk about the author for a minute, Jeanine Cummins. Her motivation for writing this, it's quite personal, isn't it?
Very. Her husband faced immigration issues, and there was this horrific tragedy in her family years ago. 2 cousins raped, her brother beaten and thrown off a bridge. Survived, but barely.
So that shaped her perspective profoundly.
Absolutely. It led her to want to focus on the victims, not perpetrators. She wanted to tell the flip side of the usual narrative.
Focusing on normal people.
Yeah, especially women whose stories often get overlooked. She wanted to show their agency, their ability to make choices, to act, even in the most impossible situations. She asked herself how she, a regular person, might cope if her world just fell apart like Lydia's did.
And she definitely takes issue with the public conversation around immigration.
Oh, absolutely. She expressed frustration that it so often focuses on policy issues to the absolute exclusion of moral or humanitarian concerns.
And the way migrants are often portrayed.
She was appalled by that, characterizing them as an invading mob or a faithless brown mass instead of seeing them as individual human beings.
Which this story powerfully counteracts.
Right. Her emphasis is that these are fellow human beings with complex lives, reasons, and agency. This deep dive really underscores that, showing you Lydia and Luca's intricate individual journey.
So how does their story end, or rather begin again?
Well, the narrative concludes with them building a new life. It's 53 days and 2,645 miles after the massacre. Luca is boarding a yellow school bus, clean backpack, new sneakers.
In his dad's hat.
It's now a treasured artifact on his dresser. Lydia is still haunted, sleepless. She reads Love in the Time of Cholera, hoping Sebastian might visit her dreams. And she wears his ring, her daily prayer still being, "Today will not be the last day I ever see our child."
And that school bus Luca gets on, it's significant.
Very. It's filled with kids from all over Honduran, Ecuadorian, Somali, American kids too. It just reflects this complex, diverse reality of their new beginning, a microcosm of the world they've entered.
So wrapping up this deep dive, we've seen the incredible lengths a mother will go to protect her child.
Definitely. And the devastating human cost of cartel violence, the systemic failures, the challenges migrants face.
But also those moments of incredible compassion alongside the chilling betrayals. It forces you to confront the real cost of survival.
And it really pushes past the political noise, doesn't it? It demands that we recognize the individual humanity, the agency, the complex inner lives of people seeking refuge. Their journeys aren't just about crossing borders.
They're about the human spirit, enduring against unbelievable odds. So the journey of Lydia and Luca, it really leaves us with a question, doesn't it? What does it truly mean to find that American trait, that safety, when the journey itself has carved such deep, indelible marks on your soul?
Yeah. And what responsibility do we have listening to these complex stories that arrive, forever changed, right at our doorstep?